So we have been thinking about this great mystery of gift of faith. I say gift of faith, which we understood was given to Abraham. So from the point, I began that from the point of Isaiah 51, that is where this exact explanation about the new way, that is the new justice, that is the righteousness, that is the coming of the Messiah. But in between, before Isaiah begins 52-53 is about the complete passion of the Messiah. And before that, he is telling all those who seek the justice, look to the rock. നിന്നെ വെട്ടിയെടുത്ത പാറയിലേക്കും നിന്നെ കുഴിച്ചെടുത്ത ഖനിഗർഭത്തിലേക്കും നോക്കുവിൻ. When this particular word brought my attention, I was amazed why I have not read this for many years. I never knew such a word is there in the Bible for many years. And that gave me a big, strong direction. Oh, I have to go to that rock. Go means, in fact, I am already in that rock. The faith what I have got is right from that gift what God has given to Abraham. Now, so we went up to Abraham is going. Lord God shown him the stars. And this was so. Now our point was, certain things I may be repeating, our point was this idea about faith is a gift. Assume that it is like a big packet, but in that packet there are small packets. Means that is called, I say, content of faith. Now the first packet was opened in the gift. What is that? When Abraham heard the voice of God, he could believe it is God speaking. How he could believe? Let me check your answer. How he could believe? Why he could believe? How he could believe? Eh? How he got it? Eh? Given, correct. Who given? How he was given? Where it was given? How it was given? Sunne se viswas. समझ में आया? So when just before that he had no faith. He simply heard Abraham. That voice was containing all what God wanted to give to him. I am your God. When he said this, that data is transmitted. I am the Lord God, creator of heaven and earth. When he heard this, he received it. What he received? That conviction. Oh my God, God is not that statue. God is not that sun. God is something, a person, invisible. Oh, that it came to him. That is the first packet. Now I recommend this. That is why I always say go to the inner room and listen. That God who spoke to Abraham is now right within us and speaking the same thing. Thomas Paul, leave everything and come. My son. And this is again an aspect of faith. I will expand it a little more. once I listen every day. Every day. I have so many years of diary. Sometimes when I read those old diaries, I feel with such a joy and power. What God has spoken directly to me, like God has spoken to Moses or to Noah, or to the same way He is speaking to us. And I tell you, to all of you, if you sit few minutes, more than an hour surely, and one day, just an example, I heard the Lord said, you are a stone. You are a, oh my God. First thing, oh Lord, why you call me stone? Oh, okay, there may be something good in that. Otherwise, because it is God who is speaking, correct? So He speak only good thing for me. I know that message is not complete. Something He want to say. It is only a preparation. He said, you are a stone. And then He said, pay attention. Then He said, you are a stone in the hands of David. Oh, my God. Can you grasp it? You understood that? Oh my God. You are a stone in the hands of David. At that very moment it was happening. I began to be empowered. I began to receive such a power. And I stood up. I said, Goliath, no, I will kill you. Suddenly such a power began to flow from me. You are a stone. You are a stone in the hands of David. It's an example. When God speaks, it happens. It happens. Let there be light. Light came. So this is what Abraham, immediately Abraham is ready. Yes, Lord, speak, yes. Now he knows God is going to do something. God is going to do. This is what Jesus explained this in John chapter 14. John 14:12, Jesus said, John chapter 14:12, Jesus said, what I speak, don't you believe that I am in my Father and Father is in me? But believe that what I speak is not I speak, but my Father. But my Father doing His work. My Father is doing His work. How the Father is doing? By speaking. When Father speak, can you read?
Amen, amen, I say to you, whoever believes in me will do the works that I do, and will do greater ones.
14:10. I said 12, sorry, correction. 14:10.
Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak on my own. The Father who dwells in me is doing His works.
See, the Father who dwells in me is doing when He speaks. So this is what a big point of faith. That's why all our prayers should be not we say to the God, but prayer is also listening to God, listening. That's why Mary chose the better part. What she's doing, she sat at his feet and was listening. Okay. Now, that's enough. That is the first packet of faith. That is, when you listen, you receive faith, and all what he says, you believe that is God, and it happens. It happens. It happens. In fact, initially I had this struggle. Will it really happen? And then Mother Mary sweared. Elizabeth said to Mary, "Blessed are you. You believed what is spoken will become true." So that is the first part of the packet of faith. To believe what is spoken. So Abraham got that believe means it is the gift. Now next is Abraham had no doubt about the promises what God made. All what God made to Abraham was like promises. I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. Oh, how do I know you will do? So that is what Zechariah asked. You will have a child. Oh, how do I know I will have a child at this old age? But Abraham had no difficulty because that is given to him in that packet of faith. Now, the point which somebody was telling, responding to that faith, that is also another gift we have to receive. Responding. Now, I was telling about Jonah, correct? Jonah finally responded. So it needs a courage to respond. One need a courage. You may theoretically know everything, but when it comes to not getting courage, and that is my finding in Jonah syndrome. He said, "Throw me out into the sea." What a courage! That is really given by God. So Abraham with his children or with his wife, with his wife began to move forward. That is responding. This is what often many people say, if you take one step, God will take 10 steps. When you are convinced, but you take a small step. So this can be supported by Jesus' famous saying, if you are faithful in little thing, you will be faithful in greater thing. God is not asking you to do something greater thing first. But first you start doing little thing. But with this conviction, I will do this. I will respond to this faith. Okay. Now he is showing the stars. This is a big thing. He said, I will give you children like the stars. I am going to make a nation from you. He prostrated down. That means he accepted it. He believed it. You will have a child. Now here is the connection we have to make with righteousness and forgiveness and removal of the sin, all the thing. All these things, why God is doing all these things to Abraham? For what? It is all the plan for the salvation. It is for the salvation plan. Salvation plan is, now that rich man came to Jesus and asked, what should I do? Etc., etc. Then finally he went away. Now other people are asking, now what will happen to him? And Jesus said, what is impossible for man is possible by God. We quote this word left and right for anything. But the purpose, the real meaning of that is What is impossible for man is his own salvation. His own salvation. That is possible by whom? By God. You must see that animation movie about it. Oh, I got fantastic ideas there. So, now coming this word, what is impossible for man is possible by God. It is about the salvation, but God is bringing many things in this salvation plan. Now you have, during the Advent time, before Christmas, you had many Sundays readings where these barren women were becoming conceived. Why? Now this woman, Sarah, was a barren woman, not having a child. That is considered as a very, very painful and miserable and humiliating thing at that time. Now also, but at that time it was much terrible, much terrible. The society considered her as terribly, what to say? At that situation, the Lord is telling, your wife is going to conceive. Abraham believed. That is another packet of faith. That is, God can do impossible. And then nothing is happening for many years. Why? God promised, why nothing is happening? We must wait. Wait. That is another aspect of faith. Hope, hope, hope. And then one day, it so happened to Sarah that her menstruation period stopped. She entered into menopause. That is what the word says. Her womb became dry. She got into old age. All this means she got into menopause. Can any woman become pregnant once she is in menopause? No. So God was actually waiting for this natural phenomena to happen. Then only what God is going to do is a supernatural. Understand it? Because if she is conceived during her natural periods and all, then it is a natural pregnancy. Although she was a barren woman, in that situation she get a pregnancy, that's a wonder. But at the same time, it is from a natural relationship. But God wanted, this is a supernatural divine intervention, an anticipatory experience of the thing which is going to come in Mother Mary and in Elizabeth and in the salvation history. Not by man, but by God. So this clue is very important in that her womb become dry. That is what Isaiah says. Look at the rock and look at the pit, that womb of Sarah. And when her womb become dry, Sarah lost. Oh, now what will happen? Now how will I become pregnant? At that time the Lord comes and says, next year in the spring you will get a child. She smiled. Because how this is going to happen? All these years I had a hope, but now when the menstruation periods are over, become more older, at that time the Lord is telling, now you will get a child. But Abraham believed. Another packet. That is, here Absolutely, there is no human credit to take in this. Correct? And that is where the key of the spring of the fountain of salvation begins. The aspect of faith. And so Sarah become pregnant and child is born. Each event you have to evaluate with as a gift of faith and gift of the covenant. Now before that there is a son. Abraham got a son. But the Lord said, no, that is not the son from which the covenant will come. I will give you a son from your own spouse. He will be according to the covenant. He is not from your flesh. That is again. So Hagar is the flesh. Sarah is the spirit. See, this we see morning in this. And then, okay. Now, situation has come. Sarah is telling to send her away. That's very painful. For Abraham, it is his firstborn son. He is such a godly person. And he is now going to send this child and mother out. What an injustice. But that is all in the spiritual plan of God. God said, listen now what Sarah says. Because this son from your slave woman is not the one should be your inherited child. It is your son Isaac will be the one on which the covenant will be developed. It will be difficult for us to all these things understand little bit because we may feel it is like a injustice, but we have to understand all these things through the eyes of faith. Okay, now we are coming to the final point of this. Now, child is growing, Abraham's faith is growing. One day, the Lord called, Abraham, yes Lord. I ask you now to offer your own son as a burnt offering in the Mount Moriah. Yes, Lord, yes, I will do that. This is the highest packet of the faith. Why God asked this? And what are all thoughts came into Abraham? Suppose you have done graduation, you did BSc, MSc, management, you have completed the study. You did everything, you know everything. But that is not enough. You have to go through a examination. Then only you will get a qualified. So up to this time, God has given all the content of the faith to Abraham. Now he has to pass the test. So always test means it is not to put us down, it is to promote us. Faith have to be tested, then only you can be promoted. Just like our university studies. You studied. 4 years you studied, I know everything. But that is not enough. That has to be tested. For what? Then only you are graduated. And now, pay attention. When God said to Abraham, now he said yes. And next day morning, he immediately got two of his servants ready. He did not say to Sarah, because then the plan will be. But the reason I will tell you later. Abraham began the journey to Mount Moriah. Now Mount Moriah is a very, very important point in the geography of and the history of this Israel. And let me say a little bit on the Mount Moriah. It is this Mount Moriah on which Mount Moriah is the place where God said to David to build his temple. And Solomon built that great Jerusalem temple, a temple of glory that was in the Mount Moriah, because it has connection to the sacrifice of Abraham. And that temple was destroyed during the Babylonian exile in BC, I think 500 or 700. Any idea? BC? Okay, you see. Yeah, okay. And then at the time before Jesus comes, before Jesus' birth, this was rebuilt by Herod, which took 46 years to rebuild. And even that was destroyed in AD 70. And what Jews are worshipping is called the Wailing Wall or Western Wall. That is the remains of that old temple. And the exact place where the temple was there, the place where Abraham offered the sacrifice, is now in the hands of Muslims, and they have a mosque there because they claim this is the place where our father Abraham offered a sacrifice. So there are three groups claiming this place: Christians, Muslims and Jews. But there is a perfect peacefulness, and all the three people have brought their tomb. All the tombs are around this, because all are waiting for the glory to come. All this is very interesting. And now when you see this, that is the place. It is like a so this is not so much. This is Mount Moriah, and on this side, this is the Gedron Valley, and this is the Mount Gethsemane, just on this side. And then here there is a valley, and this is Mount Golgotha. But now we cannot see all these things because it is all having lot of buildings and all the things. But this is the topography of this, a cross section. So this Valley of Olives, many of the Psalms David was singing. He was walking through this Valley of Olives and singing. It is in the same Valley of Olives. Jesus repeated those Psalms. And he cried, his blood fallen. So this will give a good picture about these things. Now, after 3 days of walk, Abraham reached the valley of Mount Moriah, and he raised his head. Now these 3 days can be connected with Jesus' passion or his buried time. And that I should have said after some time. I am all becoming more early. You will get a connection. Now, point, I will ask a question now for you to think. Then when he reached the Moria valley, before going up the mountain, he said to his servants, "You guys stay here. I will go up, we will go up and offer the sacrifice and we will come back." Understand it? Yes. Now with what idea he said this? He is supposed to kill the sun up there. So how he will come back? He said, "We will come back. We will come back." Can somebody think about it? Why did he say, "We will come back"?
He believed that he will not, he had faith that he will come back with his son.
Yeah, but on what ground?
Because God had actually promised her that he will give some descendant like the stars, and if his son dies, how will he get the descendant?
Yeah. But then he has to kill the son. That is also clear.
But he also believed in God's covenant, so he had the faith that maybe there is something, some test. Maybe he had that.
Very good. We are very near. That exactly, yes.
If God is merciful.
If at all, yeah, the resurrection.
Yeah. Who said that? Ah, you are not far from the kingdom of God. Give a clap to her. This is the highest point of the faith. It is not my idea. It is written in Hebrews chapter 11, 19. Please read Hebrews chapter 11, 17 to 19. Hebrews chapter 11, 17 to 19.
By faith, Abraham, when put to the test, offered up Isaac, and he had received the promises, was ready to offer his only son, of whom it was said, "Through Isaac descendants shall bear your name." He reasoned that God was able to raise even from the dead, and he received Isaac back as a symbol.
Praise the Lord. This is the biggest packet of the faith. This is the biggest part of the gift of faith. This last stretch. That when he walked all throughout these 3 days, he was contemplating, yes, I will do it. Because God had, he was going through all what God promised. What God promised, he will do it. God promised that from my son I will give stars like the stars, the children. But yet he is telling now to kill him. That means my God has power to raise the dead. Yes, Lord, I believe that. I will kill him, but you will raise him. I will kill him, but you will raise him. This is what the whole Jesus' preaching was. They will kill me, but I will raise again. They will kill me, but I will raise again. This parallelism now we can see. Abraham took his son. The firewood he kept on his shoulder. And this boy, his only son, carrying a wood to burn him. It is all painful. It is not easy. His heart is strongly under big struggle. Yes, but he says, but he has to carry. This is an anticipation of Jesus carrying the cross and climbing. In between, the son is asking, Papa, we have everything, but where is the lamp? Oh, You are the lamb, but he cannot say that now. This was probably the last throttling of the test. Even at this moment, will Abraham go back or not? God is looking like a goldsmith. The burning is going on. God of Isaac. God of Isaac is watching. Now I have to be a little dramatic. You see what all happened there. You really have to relive this thing. You have to understand this thing in a real power of God. Abraham is going up with the burning torch, burning, क्या बोलता है, मसाल? Today those girls were singing something about masal. That is all symbolism. Masal, knife, climbing. He is carrying the wood, climbing. He knew very clear, I will kill him. I will kill him. My God, you wanted me to obey you. Now this is all to understand in the whole salvation plan. When God told him he could not obey, eating about the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of the... But here Abraham is going to reverse that. Abraham already going to reverse that act of Adam did, that he is going to be obedient even to kill his own son. And from that act comes out God become merciful to give his own son. All these things are developing. That's why I say Moriah mountain is a very, very important point.